Hey everybody, Tim Miller from the Bulwark here with my buddy JVL, author of the Triad newsletter, which you got to sign up for at thebulwark.com. We had to get on this morning because while I was taping the pod, our president, Donald Trump, I think basically did a dictatorship trial balloon, I think is the best way you could describe this. Maybe that's slightly overstating it. We'll be interested to see what JVL thinks. Why don't we watch the clip together and see what we think on the other side.
I made the statement that next should be Chicago because, as you all know, Chicago's a killing field right now. And they don't acknowledge it. And they say, we don't need him. Freedom, freedom. He's a dictator. He's a dictator. A lot of people are saying maybe we like a dictator. I don't like a dictator. I'm not a dictator. I'm a man with great common sense and I'm a smart person. And when I see what's happening to our cities, and then you send in troops, instead of being praised, they're saying you're trying to take over the republic.
All right, JVL. So a lot of people are saying maybe we'd like a dictator. Not Trump. He caveats. Not me. A lot of other people are saying it. We kind of have a long track record of Trump floating, of a lot of other people saying something, and then him coming around to it.
Yeah. With tears in their eyes, they say. So this is actually the second time he's done this, Tim. Last week, he was talking about the National Guard being sent to D.C., and he said, already they're saying he's a dictator. D.C. is going to hell, and we've got to stop it. So instead of saying he's a dictator, they should say, we're going to join him and make Washington safe. So once could be an accident. Twice is coincidence. Like the third time, I guess, will be enemy fire. I don't know, man. I've put all of this of a piece with the cankles and the hand makeup. If that makes sense to you.
It doesn't. I'm intrigued where you're going with this, though.
So this is, and one of the things you see in all dictatorial regimes is an obsession with making it look right, because dictatorships are they're brittle, right? So they're very strong, except until the point where they fail totally, right? They're not resilient. They don't bend. They don't have a lot of resiliency to the network, and so they really count on it always looking like it is inevitable that the guy who's the dictator is going to live for forever, right? The minute people start saying, well, I don't know,
now, does the hand makeup make it seem like he's going to live forever, or does that having a counter purpose?
The counter purpose. I really think that, but the lengths to which he's going to try to make it look, he's like a Morton Joe in Mad Max Fury Road, can never let the people see what he looks like without his battle dress on. And like all of this is death of Stalin stuff. Like this is sending troops into cities, recruiting the National Guard from friendly red states that are allied with him. There's a real like occupied and occupier dynamic to it, mixed with the guy talking openly about being a dictator, mixed with the regime's intense efforts to the point of ridiculousness to make it look like this old physically failing guy is going to live for forever. Man, like nothing. This story doesn't end well.
No,
does it?
It doesn't. And I want to point out another kind of imbalance, something that I think about how we've sort of seen this play out in a bunch of different ways in the past, kind of in this take Trump seriously, but not literally kind of sense about how Republicans handle him, which is you have this thing happening out in the world. By the world, I mean kind of like the MAGA media universe and social media, et cetera. Like out there in the world, you have a group of people who are like advocating the most maximalist position. Bannon saying like, I want Trump to run again in 2028. Tucker saying it's inevitable that we have a dictator, right? Like social media posts, like talking about passing down to Barron and stuff. So you have like that world, which has like a lot of like big followers. Some people are taking it as a joke. Some people are taking it seriously, right? Okay, so you have that happening on the one side. And then you have Trump playing footsie with it a little bit, kind of doing that. Well, some people are saying this, maybe people are saying this, but not me, but maybe. And then you have the folks on the whatever more serious side, the people that ostensibly don't want a Trump dictatorship, not only not engaging with it though, but like making fun of people like us who engage with it, right? Like
Yeah.
saying, oh, they have, if they're taking this seriously, like they have TDS, they're an alarmist, right? So there's actually nobody really in right-wing world like publicly taking the position, we don't want Donald Trump to be a dictator, right? Correct. There are people that hold that position, but they're not saying it explicitly, right? Like they have it in their inside voice. And then there are people that are explicitly saying the counter, and then you have Trump kind of going like, well, we'll see what happens, right? And like, again, like we've seen this play out a bunch of times, and I think that's why it's important to watch what the Tucker and Bannon world are saying. And I don't like, there's almost an inertia towards it, because there's no pushback. There's no countervailing force.
Well, and the people you're talking about, important to understand that they will never say it out loud, right? They will, or if they say it out loud, it'll be in maybe we ought to take a really serious look at Nikki Haley running again. And, there are some very serious constitutional questions about this. The Supreme Court is going to have to adjudicate whether or not he can run again because his terms weren't consecutive. And this is nobody's ever really thought this through. It's an open legal question. And when push comes to shove, they will be okay with it. And they'll be okay with it because the alternative is the bad people, right? The alternative is Democrats with their socialism and their, 5 publicly owned grocery stores in the 5 boroughs of New York City. And I think John Bolton is like the perfect example of this. Did you remember that Bolton did not support Kamala Harris?
Oh, of course. Yeah, I have a list.
Okay,
right over here. I have a list right back there. People that did not specifically say they're supporting Kamala Harris. Yeah.
So for people who do not keep lists, John Bolton, who was under constant attack from Donald Trump, who could have or should have reasonably guessed that a second Trump administration would attempt to criminally prosecute him again, and whose own life's work of hawkish foreign policy stuff was almost directly opposed to what Trump promised to do as president, and was basically aligned with what Kamala Harris was promising to do. I mean, the overlap between Bolton foreign policy and Kamala Harris foreign policy was probably like 80%, 85%. And even so, he insisted that he was going to...
Earmuffs to some of our listeners, some of our viewers.
I'm sorry. I don't want you guys to be triggered by this.
Maybe 68%. Maybe 68%.
An argument could be made for 70. And Bolton said that he was gonna write in Dick Cheney's name for president because he just couldn't abide by either the isolationist who wanted to jail him or the robust internationalist who happens to have a D next to her name. Yeah. And Bolton was so out to lunch on this that after Dick Cheney, who he was going to write in, said that he was going to vote for Kamala Harris, Bolton was like, well, I have to reconsider my write-in vote. And that's where all of these guys are, I think.
I meant to bring this up with Bill this morning and I forgot. No, so now we're down a tangent, but it's too funny not to bring up. Did you see the Wall Street Journal Ed board on Bolton?
I've written an entire newsletter about it today.
Oh, thrilling. Okay. Well, for the listeners who haven't, I love this. The Wall Street Journal editorial board, to their credit,
huge credit,
opposed the raid on John Bolton. So great job, guys. Want to give credit where due. They've spoken out against the regime on this one. But I love this, though. The real offender here is a president who seems to think he can use the power of his office to run vendettas. We said this was one of the risks of a second Trump turn, and it's turning out to be worse than we imagined.
Yeah.
Now, remember, unlike John Bolton, the Wall Street Journal Ed board did not formally endorse Trump per se, but they did a series of why you might be for Trump editorials and compared with why you might be for Kamala that was clearly written so that the median reader of theirs would decide that it's probably they should probably go with Trump, right? Yeah. Like when you looked at the way that they framed those two pieces. Yeah.
It was a soft sell.
And so that's where they were. Bulwark Takes is sponsored by OneSkin, product I've been slinging for a while now, so much so that I've had, I think, a couple of friends that have caught strays from me about how they need to be using OneSkin, either for their face and their wrinkles or for their scalp and their thinning hair. I've taken a little heat over that. Sorry for the real talk. And if you don't want me coming after you like that, OneSkin is the way to go. Let me explain. OneSkin's proprietary OS1 peptide is the first ingredient proven to switch off the damaged senescent cells that cause lines, wrinkles, and thin, crepey skin. Not creepy skin, crepey skin. The crepey skin can be creepy, I guess. Free from over 1,500 chemicals and preservatives that can make skin red, irritated, or itchy. Their products are certified safe for sensitive skin. Dermatologists tested and approved by independent testing platforms. The cleanser and topical supplements can all be used with other products or treatments and easily fit into your current skincare routine. OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company. By focusing on the cellular aspects of aging, OneSkin keeps your skin looking and acting younger for longer. For a limited time, you can try OneSkin with 15% off using code BulwarkTakes at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with code BulwarkTakes. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Give your skin the scientifically proven gentle care it deserves with OneSkin. And they landed on it's turning out to be worse than we imagined, which is just, I mean, you got to laugh to keep from crying. But what was your newsletter summary?
I mean, people are going to have to subscribe to read. No, I'm kidding. I'll just give it away for free here. But you people should go and sign up for it because it's like the best daily newsletter in politics. Many people are saying. Not him. Many people are saying with tears in their eyes. So here's the thing. I don't want to, what you should never do is when people start agreeing with you, you should never then like yell at them that, why didn't you agree sooner? You should just take it. Right. Happy to have all the allies we can to push back against authoritarianism.
And yet,
I would say it isn't just that the Wall Street Journal said, oh, Trump doing vendettas is a thing that might happen in the second term. They did that as a way of attacking those of us who were warning that he was going to do very dangerous vendettas. And so it was excuse making that they did when anybody could have seen. But what this is all about,
right? Because you're referencing though, because this is like somewhere deep in my brain of my personal vendettas. But the editorial was something on the lines of like, we're not like one of those crazy never Trumpers who think that Donald Trump is going to institute gulags. Like we are slightly concerned about the use of power. Like that was kind of how they framed it.
Right. Yeah. But here's what this is all. This is all sprung from the same delusion, which is that whether you are the Wall Street Journal editorial page or John Bolton or any of the people in Republican world, people I just referred to as good Republicans, you think still that you're using Trump and that you're the ones with the whip hand and that he is the unwitting pawn of yours and that you're getting what you want policy-wise out of him. And it might be unsavory, but this is realpolitik. And these guys seem utterly blind to the fact that it's the opposite. Like Trump is the one in charge.
It has been that way for years.
Yeah, for 8 years now.
Yeah, and it's been obvious for years. Remember, this reminds me of when I published the book and I got a call from Breitbart's Matt Boyle, who I like describe as like a grown-up Ralph Wiggum, and like I like the description of him was extremely pejorative. I was worried. I was like, okay, he's gonna yell at me. Opposite, he called to be like, yeah, you have to do that. You have to like make fun of me for your lib readers, but like, you're right that we're using them. The nationalist authoritarians are using the Republican establishment cucks, and like you understand the power dynamic, and they don't. And so I went to tell you good job on the book. I was like, okay, great. So it's like it was idiots like Matt Boyle could see it, we could see it, everybody could see it except them the entire time. We've got this is turning into a full podcast because this press conference is ongoing. And so I want to just throw at you a couple other things that have been said. Hegseth speaks during the press conference and says, as at your direction as well, sir, it's common sense to make sure the National Guard is armed. So he's kind of confirming their plan to arm
just common sense.
The National Guard soldiers that are taking over the cities. Stephen Miller also speaks, says DC is now so safe that women are wearing jewelry and carrying purses again. That was something that wasn't happening in D.C. No women were wearing jewelry anywhere. And now Trump is riffing about maybe renaming the Department of Defense, taking it back to the Department of War.
Well, I mean, that would be interesting since Trump promised no more wars. I don't quite fully understand that, but there we are. Uh, Maybe he'll find some wars he is open to getting into against, like, I guess. I'm sorry, I've forgotten. Are we no longer invading Greenland and Canada? Because those things were, I mean, annexing those two pieces of territory were absolutely vital to the national security interests of America for 8 weeks. Is that not?
There's
Is
some
that
chat
off?
about going after the cartels in Mexico. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I think that they are planning war. Not to be glib about it, like we're arming the National Guard
Yeah.
troops that we're sending into blue cities. Like that's
War
the
at
acute
home.
enemy.
Right. This is a very deep point, and I forget who made this. It's not mine. I'm regurgitating somebody else's. But the America First thing, it really it is predicated upon the idea that all of the important enemies are actually domestic.
Right.
Like that's what it's really about. It's forget American leadership in the world. That far out group out there in North Korea, we don't care about them. The people we really need to crush and wage war against are right here at home. That's where we are.
All right. I should close by saying this press briefing that we had that included kind of discussion of women's purse carrying in D.C. and soft launch of dictatorship was actually about, do you know what? An executive order on desecrating the flag.
Oh,
so
okay.
The free speech. Let's just watch a little clip from that.
What the executive order does, sir, it charges your Department of Justice with investigating instances of flag burning, and then where there's evidence of criminal activity, that where prosecution wouldn't fall afoul of the First Amendment, and instructs the Department of Justice to prosecute those who are engaged in these instances of flag burning.
And what the penalty is going to be, if you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail, no early exits, no nothing. You get 1 year in jail. If you burn a flag, you get, and what it does is incite to riot. I hope they use that language, by the way. Did they?
Yeah, incitement is
incite to riot. And you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail. You don't get 10 years, you don't get 1 month. You get 1 year in jail, and it goes on your record. And you will see flag burning stopping immediately, just like when I signed the Statute and Monument Act. 10 years in jail if you hurt any of our beautiful monuments. Everybody left town. They were gone. Never had a problem after that. It's pretty amazing. We stopped it. But this is something that's, I don't know, in a certain way it's equally as important. Some people would say it's more important. Because the people in this country don't want to see our American flag burned and spit on. And by people that are, in many cases, paid agitators. They're paid by the radical left to do it. You talk to these people, they don't even know, half of them don't even know what they're doing. They say, I don't know, they gave me money to do this. I see the same things that you do. They're bad people. They're trying to destroy our nation.
So the free speech absolutists here, we have a fiat from the leader. The flag cannot be desecrated. Unclear if there is a penalty for the flag flying that upside down, like Martha Ann Alito did.
Oh, does that count?
Unclear if that counts. Unclear if like using the flag to beat cops like on January 6th. If those folks are going to be, I don't know if they're going to be targeted. Not sure, but that's where we're at now. They're playing the hits on flag desecration. Do you have any thoughts on this as it ties to the subject of maybe some people are saying dictatorship?
I just that when the chips are down, none of these people we've been talking about, whatever their private feelings, will be willing to push back against it. They're never going to join the cause, and so if we get through this thing, it's going to be because of us, all of us, like you guys listening.
And don't burn the flag while you're fighting back. Carry a sandwich. Carry a sandwich just for protection, but don't burn the flag. All right, that's it. That's Jonathan Last. Subscribe to the feed. We will be covering the, maybe some people are saying dictatorship, maybe not, day to day for you guys. Tell your friends. We'll see y'all soon.